All right, everybody, back with another one. This is a special breaking episode where we take a look at the recent shooting of Charlie Kirk that actually just happened today, I believe, Wednesday, September 10th. Been taking a little time off recently, so I haven't done a episode in a couple of weeks to work on some stuff for the podcast and some other business related items. And obviously, as you can tell, I have a little bit of a new look, just messing around with some stuff. But this is a important episode because we're going to take a look at the situation that Charlie Kirk is currently in and see what happened. I think he was actually shot on site at a university where he was giving another one of those talks that he does to a bunch of students. So we're going to jump into a video of that now and take a look at what happened and then break it down.
Counting, we're not counting game violence.
Oh my God. Go, run. Oh.
That's just now coming into our newsroom. I have to put this up on your screen. Charlie Kirk has been shot at a Utah event. He is now hospitalized. And so you may have heard of Charlie Kirk. He's known as a very popular political pundit, known for some of his right-wing moves. And so we'll be talking a lot more about this as this breaking news coming into the newsroom at this point. I'm going to be bringing up Josh Breslow as well, my colleague, so that way we can discuss. But ultimately, we do know that Charlie Kirk was kicking off the American Comeback Tour at Utah Valley University, and it was supposed to be speaking there at noon local time. This is where he was going to be hosting one of his very popular Prove Me Wrong tables, which gives audience members an opportunity to stump the political pundit. And so once again, I want to bring in now with us here, Josh Breslow. Josh, I don't know if you're able to hear me, but we're talking about this incident that happened there at this Utah University with Charlie Kirk. It's shocking to see that something like this is happening.
Yeah, for sure. And hopefully you can hear me, Christina. We are gathering all of the details here in the newsroom at Live Now from Fox. What we're showing you is essentially that post that is confirmed by Fox News. That is the information that we have right now. Fox News is reporting that Charlie Kirk was shot there at that event. And again, if we can, let's put that post back up there on your screen so you can get a better look at just that basic information that is coming in. Now, this was at an event over in Utah. And what's interesting is we can tell you that Charlie Kirk had actually posted to his social media here just minutes before all of this is said to have unfolded. We're also getting some information that is coming in from different reporters in that area. That includes an anchor over at KUTV, that is Utah's news there. They're the CBS affiliate, but they are over there on the scene and saying that this was a speaking engagement at Utah Valley University. They say at this point they are hearing that Kirk was shot possibly in the neck and that a suspect may be in custody. Now, as far as the campus alert, I can tell you that KUTV is saying, quote, a single shot was fired on campus toward a visiting speaker. Police are investigating now, suspect in custody. But aside from that, Christina, at this point, this is what we know. But again, this is the post there on your screen from Charlie Kirk that was posted just moments before all of this was said to unfold. It says, we are so back with fire emojis. Utah Valley University is fired up and ready for the first stop back on the American Comeback Tour. Again, information very limited. We are reaching out to officials to gather more. A lot of the information that's here so far is coming from Fox News, our partners over there, as well as local media in that area that was on the scene there to cover the event, as well as reporters, anchors at those stations who had children, family members that were over there at the event as well. We're getting a lot of different reaction coming in. This right here on your screen from Vice President J.D. Vance, who is saying, say a prayer for Charlie Kirk, a genuinely good guy and a young father. So, Christina, we're working to get more information here. This just happened maybe 15, 20 minutes ago. So all of this is unfolding in real time, and that information is coming in again from the different affiliates that are out there, and we're working to get it.
Absolutely. And Josh, we're continuing this coverage just for some more background as well on this event. He was set to attend there, like you were just saying, that Utah University, Utah State. And it was interesting to see this because it was as of Tuesday morning. I want to put it up as well so folks can see at home. There were a number of local officials there, as well as some of those at the university, speaking on this, saying that they didn't want Kirk to come. And so, as you can see, as of this point, as of this Wednesday, more than 6,800 people had signed this change.org petition to not allow him to attend this event.
So there you have it. This is a breaking story, obviously, so it's still unfolding. There's probably going to be a lot more information to come out over the next few days, I would imagine. But just from that clip and whatever I read online so far, it seems that he was hosting an event at a Utah university. A bunch of college students showed up to watch him. Apparently, it was a packed crowd. He was, I guess talking about that on social media, that like, this is the message that the youth wants again, and that there are a lot more young conservatives. It's clear that whoever did that didn't like him, didn't agree with that message, and maybe was even upset that, he was even allowed on campus, apparently, by what the, news anchor just said about how a bunch of people signed the petition to stop him from coming. Besides the fact that this is assault, attempted murder, it's a crime, and it's punishable by, depending on where it is, many years in prison. If not, some states, could even have worse punishments than that. This is wrong, but on several different levels. Number one, everybody has the right to freedom of speech. As long as you're not inciting violence or riots or anything that leads to violence at another level that leads to physical action, you have the right to say what you want. And in America, that is a constitutional right that is protected by our government. Our government's supposed to uphold those protections for us, but it's granted to us by God. So no person can tell another person they can't say something. And if they do, they're going to physically react to them. That type of behavior cannot be allowed to happen in America at all. It can't be allowed to happen from the right to the left, and it can't be allowed to happen from the left to the right. Obviously, the other major thing is, this person shot somebody, and that's a major crime. This person needs to get the fullest penalty of the law, whatever that is in that state. But it raises a question. How does this person even get a gun like that into an event? Because first of all, they shot him from quite a distance. So you can't do that with a handgun. It's obviously a sniper rifle or some sort of similar type of gun with a scope at the bare minimum. How does this person get this weapon into the event? It's the same question that immediately red flags in my mind. How did that person get on the top of the building to shoot Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania? And how did they get into, his golf course? And that second time he got shot, how did the person get on the grassy knoll when JFK was shot? It's all these different things that Charlie Kirk is not the president, but he is a really big public figure, and his organization makes a lot of money. He obviously has a security team that is supposed to monitor this stuff. But also, the college probably also had additional security as well, because it's a school. Not to mention, schools are one of the few places where it is federally illegal to carry a gun in most states. Even if you have, concealed carry, open carry rights in those states, because that's state by state basis, most schools, it's forbidden anyway. Some states have exceptions. And I don't know what the laws are in Utah. But if you're doing an event this size, you would think that it would override that, you have the right to attend the event, but you can't get anywhere within X amount of feet to the event if you're carrying a weapon, even if it's allowed at that school. But, maybe we'll take a look if we have time at the state's policies on that. But it raises the question, how did this person get a gun at all? And then especially that type of gun that you have to set that type of gun up. That's a gun that you can't just pull out of your pocket and shoot somebody with. It's a big gun. Somebody's going to see it. And then even if they don't see it immediately, So I've seen people wear baggy pants and put things in them like, large weapons, and they conceal them pretty well. The minute you pull that type of gun out, how did everybody not stop that person before they took action? Because also he's doing this event, he's down low on the ground, lower than the rest of the crowd, which is elevated. So, clearly he's in a position where it's designed that way for like an auditorium view where people can see him from seats looking down. But at the same time, it makes him a pretty good target because it's harder to shoot something that's lower than you than higher than you, depending on, where you're standing. But how did that person get the gun anywhere close to Charlie or this event at all? How did his security team not stop it? How did the school security not stop it? How did they not detect this person, you know, earlier on? Was this an inside job? Was somebody who was involved in the school or his security team or something involved in this in order to get that person closer? And then also, how did this person get the gun out and position it and aim it and shoot it before anybody noticed this person setting up a shot? And by the way, when you set up a shot like that, it takes a little bit of setting up and aiming before you actually pull the trigger. You can't just pull the trigger on that, pull the gun out and shoot it and hit your target from that distance. So somebody had to set the gun up, and it took a little bit. My red flag is saying that something's wrong here. You can't just get all of those factors worked out, ahead of time, which obviously this was premeditated because you also have to like figure out what's the best position in the area to, take your shot. How do you, where do you go? How do you line it up? How do you get past certain people and checkpoints? Yeah, this to me screams something's wrong here, you know? And then the other thing is, you would think that a person like Charlie Kirk, like Trump does, would have some sort of armor protecting him from these type of things because he does go and speak in front of many people. And, you would think that he would set something up where I'm sure he's going to do this going forward, where he had some sort of body armor on and maybe even a shield or two in front of him to protect him from this type of stuff. Obviously, it takes away from, being able to interact with the people as well, because you do have a partition in front of you. Also it's summer, so it is still hot out. It's definitely hot wearing a bulletproof vest. But you're the type of figure you are in front of thousands of people constantly that you don't know. You do these big events. You got to take precautions. Apparently, he got shot and he's in the hospital. This is being dealt with. So obviously, pray for him. Pray that he recovers from this because it, devastating, and it is something that is even more sad because I think he's recently become a father, or maybe he has kids for a while, but either way, he's a young man, he's a father, and he is a net positive influence on America and on the youth in America. He doesn't preach anything negative or bad or evil. Even if you don't agree with all of his ideas, there's nothing that he's doing that is a net negative to the country in a bad way. He's not promoting anything evil or bad. He's promoting people to think freely and do research and, be open to a different point of view, and also promotes God, which is the most important thing, which is why I believe that he'll probably be okay, because this man clearly does positive things in the country, and he is an advocate for God, and God protects his people. I would imagine that God will probably see him through this, unless he has a bigger plan for America and him and his family. I would imagine that God would see him through this process to where he does heal. But something is wrong. Something doesn't really add up here. And I assume we're going to see this unfold in the near future where stuff is found out. But I believe they said that they do have the gunman in custody, and he's in the hospital right now undergoing whatever he has to undergo to hopefully pull through this. So definitely pray for him and his family. Let's just take a quick look at X just to see what everybody is saying about this topic right now and what Turning Point has posted about it, and then we're going to wrap it up. So this right here is our podcast, That's Life Podcast, official Twitter handle. Pray for Charlie Kirk, a net positive force in America today. Elon Musk says the left is the party of murder. Candace always says pray for Charlie also. Sean Hannity, prayers for Charlie. That's interesting. So Town Hall writes that MSNBC said the shooter might have been a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration. So making it as though they're so bombastic and wild, shooting their gun up in the air like a, hillbilly in the South, goofing off and just happened to shot Charlie Kirk directly in the chest or neck perfectly, which is ridiculous. But also, you can tell that MSNBC is having issues lately. I think they actually rebranded to MS Now because of money issues and also bad branding. So they're not really doing too well themselves anyway. And this type of stuff is the reason why. Glenn Beck says pray for him. This is the man who shot Charlie Kirk at Utah, reportedly in custody. This guy looks just like Bernie Sanders, to be honest. Now, see what this makes me think is this person a professor at the school, at the university? Is he one of the parents of one of the students that go there, or is he just a looned person that somehow made it onto the property? Um, yeah, this is not good. This is not good for the left, especially because even if this person is not a liberal, if he's an independent or whatever political party he's with, it looks really bad for the opposing side to the MAGA movement, the Trump people, the Republicans, because it shows that they only know violence when they're not getting their way. And the conservatives, Republicans have not been showing much, if any, physical violence for not getting their way. Even during crazy times, like when Trump, with the whole 2020 election or in 2024, or during, COVID with the mask mandates or so many different things, they have not really shown that they um, are violent just because they don't get their way or because they don't like what someone says. So it's a bad look for the left, and it's a bad look for anybody that is anti-MAGA, anti-Republican conservative, and even anti-Christian. But yeah, these people, some of them are saying this is like a declaration of war. And you know what? It could even be reminiscent of the shot heard around the world back in the 1700s that kicked off the Revolutionary War. So we we don't know what this is going to bring, but it does not look good. If there are not a lot of liberal organizations coming out and making sure that they speak up and say that this is wrong, this is not how we deal with things, especially if it's just speech, then there is going to be a problem in the future because some conservatives may see this as a war on a Republican, conservative, liberal Democrat level. And I've said in previous videos, we are headed towards a war in this country. And the next war will be a class war and a political war, where it's the Republicans versus the Democrats, the conservatives versus the liberals, and then even throw in there some religious ideology because that seems plausible as well. That some religions will be against Christians, and it will be that type of war. So this seems to be lining up, moving us closer towards what I said in previous videos, that this does look like what is coming down the pipeline is a war in this country on a level where people, maybe just get to their breaking point where they feel that they cannot handle the current climate of the country politically and want to take things to the next physical level. I've said it in the past, it's not a good idea. You don't want to do that. You don't want to have a war, especially a civil or semi-civil war. And this is exactly what some of the elites want, is to push the people this way. But you don't want that. You don't want a war. You don't want that. You don't want a war because you do not want things to escalate from a point where we're having a conversation to a point of no return. Once you get physical, it's very hard to walk that back. It's very hard to go from having a conversation or an argument with somebody and then getting into a fist fight and then going back to a conversation. It really doesn't work well that way. It usually leads to really bad fight that ends with somebody severely injured or dead, or retaliations going back and forth until there is a victor and a loser. And this is not what we need right now in this country. We need unity. We need, people to work together towards shared goals in this nation and to continue the legacy that is America. and let go of all this stuff, all of this infighting, and the certain organizations trying to do a divide and conquer strategy, which is what this may be. Who knows? I guess we'll see more as this stuff unfolds. But that's it for this video. Just wanted to do a quick video on what happened. Just telling the people, in case obviously it's going to be all over the internet, so you'll see it on every news source, every site. But this is going to continue to unfold. I just thought it was important because this is a major situation, and it also ties into what I was saying previously, that we may be headed towards a war in this country on a level, an actual physical war. Hope it doesn't get there, but this just looks like another step closer to that. So that's it for this video. Pray for Charlie, pray for his family, pray for his organization Turning Point, and pray for all those people that were at that event, because I'm sure a lot of them are very traumatized by this now. But stay calm, always work things out with your words. War should be the last resort that we get to if there's absolutely no way forward and God calls us to. Otherwise, we should always try and work things out with our words. But that's it for this video. Stay tuned for the next full episode. All right, everybody, I just want to take a moment to promote my children's book. This is Little Boy Full of Love. That's me on the back. And this is a little sneak peek on the inside. It's a great book. It's a children's book. I actually wrote this for my son, and it's available right now on Amazon, Walmart, Barnes & Noble, Indigo, Bookshop.org, and a lot of other online platforms. But more importantly to me, it's actually available in a lot of bookstores throughout the country. You can find out which ones are closest to you on my Instagram page. We highly recommend that you shop local, buy from a local bookstore. So if you are looking to, get a children's book for you or anybody you know, or even with the holidays coming up, it's a great time to, buy a children's book as a gift. Definitely get it from a bookstore that's local to you. But if you absolutely can't get it from one of the bookstores that are currently carrying it right now, and we're in about 15 or 16 different states across the country, so it may actually be in your state, and it could even be local to you. But if you can't get it from the physical bookstore, check out our Amazon storefront. The book's available on there right now. And like I said, with the holidays coming up, you may want to do your Christmas or Hanukkah or holiday shopping early, and you can even order it from our Amazon storefront and ship it directly to whoever you're gifting it to. But it's available on those platforms, Amazon storefront and bookstores and other websites that I mentioned. But I want to take a moment here to look at the storefront just to give you an idea of some other stuff that we have available on there. These are products that we highly recommend. They are things that we use in our daily lives, and it's all organized by category. So it's a lot easier to, shop for the holidays and specifically for things that interest you, particular categories. Available right now, many different items on our storefront. If you can see here, 61 items just in women's apparel, fall decor, because right now we're in fall, 26 items, kitchen items, baking specifically, things for around the house, children's toys, even stuff for parties. If you're trying to save money on a party and throwing your own, occasion, you can even buy some cool gadgets here to help you, put on a better party. Health and wellness items here, even stuff for Christmas. And there's the book right there. So you can get it from the storefront. You can get it from the bookstores, like I mentioned. But it's available on all these different platforms. It's really easy to find and gift to somebody. Also, I want to show you the apparel shop, and these are some clothing items that we actually produced. So if you're looking to get some cool apparel items, shirts, hoodies, long sleeve, short sleeve, leggings, even accessories, cell phone cases, women's makeup bags, fanny packs, coffee mugs, all different types of stuff, even some, art, all different categories here, apparel, homeware, accessories, drinks, even digital items. It's all on this store, healthybodygoodssoul.com. Anything that pertains to you or somebody that you're looking to get a gift for the holidays. A lot of great designs on here, a lot of cool designs that we actually custom created. stainless steel water bottles, especially now with the fall and winter. A lot of cool hoodies and long sleeve shirts. This is a really cool one, I think, for women. The original Be Your Soul apparel, that one's actually really popular. People tend to like that. This one's one of my favorites. The free shirt. It's the American flag and it says free and that says not property of the United States government. That one's pretty cool. Got all different types of tank tops, hoodies, long sleeve, short sleeve, tote bags, coffee mugs, even some items for kids, backpacks. So if you're the type that likes to, plan ahead, I would definitely recommend ordering from the Amazon storefront or the apparel shop within the next couple of weeks to get everything in time for the holidays. Use code SAVE15 on the apparel shop to save 15% off everything on the storefront. So order within the next week or two and you'll definitely have everything in time for the holidays. Definitely check out all the links to everything, the Amazon storefront, the book, and the apparel shop in my bio on all my platforms, Rumble, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify. But you can also find them in all the show notes for every episode that I post and get all your orders in time for the holidays. All right, that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. It helps the channel continue to grow. And put in the comments things that you would like me to talk about and make videos on for the future. And I will definitely do my best to do that. Stay tuned for the next one.